So you're probably continuing to see the Switch 12.0 firmware update talked about online, and that is because there is more and more information that is coming out from this update from data miners that are finding code to suggest things like dock firmware update support and Bluetooth audio is the newest find. So we got to talk about today what this update really means for Nintendo and potentially the Switch Pro in the future. The other thing we're talking about is Sonic Colors Remastered, because you're probably seeing this start to trend online as there is now a new leak that is suggested that we may see this Wii port from 2010 make its way onto the Nintendo Switch. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now guys, today we're starting the video talking about the infamous Switch 12.00 firmware upgrade, which was a surprise to a lot of users because normally whenever you go up to an entire new number like 12.00 on a Switch firmware, it typically comes along with some big features that Nintendo actually promotes and says, hey, we went and fix this thing. Maybe it's a Nintendo Switch Online revision that you can now play new consoles, something along those lines. It's normally bigger news than what they gave to us this time, which is essentially that this was a bug fix for Nintendo Switch online save file data. And now what we are finding from people like Oatmeal Dome, who do a lot of data mining in updates like this, is that we are seeing things like the Nintendo Switch dock being able to be upgraded as far as its firmware is concerned. So that obviously suggests something that we've never seen done before. And then the newest find is that there is actually a code in this update that would allow the Switch to connect to a Bluetooth audio device. And I do think that this could be something that means that we are really just laying the groundwork for what the Switch Pro will offer. Maybe they do just decide to be nice and enable Bluetooth audio on the base model Switch that we already have right now, but it could also be something that Nintendo's just working on their own first party line of headsets that allow it to support that, because as of today, if you want to use Bluetooth audio and you don't want to actually plug in a 3.5mm headphone jack, you actually have to buy an adapter to allow you to do that, either through the USB-C or through the headphone jack itself. So there's obviously a whole third-party market that is capitalizing on revenue from accessories that Nintendo don't officially support but do allow to work with the Switch through third-party vendors. So that would be essentially taking away a piece of that business. But I think Nintendo, is one of the only people who really don't focus on some kind of first-party headset that they promote themselves, and it could be them just ramping up this. It could also obviously just be definitely laying the groundwork for the dev kits that are out there, that you're actually seeing rumors online that people are getting dev kits for a Switch Pro right now, which would make sense if we are going to see 4K games start to come out at the back half of 2021 or into early 2022 whenever this thing gets announced and released. So I do, again, on this channel have officially stated multiple times that I do believe the Switch Pro is in the works. There's just too many things pointing to it for it not to happen, and I think that this is just another thing that gives us more hope around maybe the changes that we can see, and Bluetooth audio is absolutely one of them. I just hope it's not exclusive to only Nintendo headsets, because I would love to use my AirPods that I typically use on a daily basis with the Nintendo Switch, and if they allow us to sync up any headset that we would like via Bluetooth, I think that's the fairest thing to do and the best thing for consumers at the end of the day. But it might not be the best thing for Nintendo's pockets if they are planning their own first party standalone headset. Now the other thing that this could signify is similar to how Sony does it, and even Microsoft, how you can plug in a headphone jack into the controller itself. You could see something like that as well with maybe a future Switch Pro controller, or whatever the Switch Pro comes out with as far as its baseline controller. That may be something that's supported in this update as well. But I would love to know your guys' thoughts on if you think that this is something significant or if it's just background code, because it's obviously not confirmed by Nintendo. This is all online data miner information. So do you think this is just one of those, down the road improvements that they are kind of working on? Or do you think that we will actually see Bluetooth audio functionality come in the form of the base Switch or even the Switch Pro, like what I am suggesting? So please make sure you comment that down below. Now, the other thing we're talking about today is Sonic Colors Remastered, and that is because there is a new leak online that does suggest that Sonic Colors Remastered is in the works, and that is because there is a German localization company who has done numerous titles over time, actually have a job listing on this game, and this was a rather well-received Sonic game when it came out in 2010 on the Wii compared to others, because we've seen Sonic go through its ups and downs over the course of time, from being literally a contender to Mario in terms of its popularity and how much fans loved those games, to really when we went into the 3D era, we had Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 that went over really well, but then it started to lose steam really fast after that, and there's a bunch of different games that they tried to go too far into different directions, and it just didn't work out, and it was not received by fans, and it really burnt the trust of a lot of fans. But Sonic Colors was really them actually listening to the fans again and trying to go back to the roots of just a fast 3D and 2D mix of a Sonic adventure, and they really did do a good job in pulling that out. And now, so we're going to walk through the article that suggests that this may actually be remastered, and it may be coming to the Switch sooner than we think. Sonic Colors Remastered is rumored to be in the works. That's after a possible mention for the project was found on the website of iKeySample, a German dubbing studio. It's listed with a key art for Sonic Boom, though we assume that was a mistake. According to iKeySample, the company is involved with localization. The original Sonic Colors did not have a German dub, so Sega may want to include it in a potential remaster. We do need to caution that there's been no official announcement for Sonic Colors Remastered, and it's always possible that nothing comes to fruition. If it is an actual product, though, a Switch release is almost a certainty. Sonic doesn't miss Nintendo platforms these days, and the original was a Wii exclusive, though the DS did receive a different title of its own. So I don't know if you guys were a fan of this particular title or not. I did actually do some research on the game, as I did not play it on the first go around on the Wii, and I do think that after looking into it and the Metacritic score of the user score actually being 85, this is definitely one of the higher rated Sonic games out there, and I do think it makes a lot of sense for Nintendo, or for Sega rather, to actually bring this over to a Nintendo platform like a Switch. Whether or not we'll see it go to all platforms, who knows, but since it was a Wii exclusive, I would most likely predict it to, be coming to just the Switch exclusively, and this would actually be one, after looking into it, that I would play through, because again, this was Sega actually trying to listen to the fans and go back to a little bit more of a traditional and just a fast pace and fast platforming type of style for Sonic games, after they had kind of burned the fans too many times. But it did not sell as well, simply because there's not a lot of trust in the Sonic franchise at this point, unfortunately, with all the missteps that they've made over time, especially when it comes to 3D Sonic games, and not something like a Sonic Mania, which was actually fantastic and a great trip down memory lane, kind of like the unofficial Sonic the Hedgehog 4, even though that is an actual game in its own. Yeah, it kind of felt more like it if you actually want to play a sequel to Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles and things like that. But this is another exciting direction that I think we could definitely use this title on the Switch, and it would definitely be one that I would enjoy playing through. So I do hope that this is actually a sign, as obviously localizations and things can sometimes lead to actual leaks of really projects that weren't supposed to be mentioned, and obviously the communication just falls apart across all the different people working on a project like this, especially at a global level. But it could also just be something that was talked about, or they were maybe hiring for but didn't end up going through, so there's no telling on if this will happen. But after all the fan interest online and seeing it kind of pop up in different news sources, I will be curious to see if this is actually in the works, and if we do see this come to the Switch, I would love to know from you guys if you plan on picking up this game or not. And then also, guys, make sure you leave that in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in today's community poll, where I will be asking you guys if you would buy Sonic Colors Remastered if we do actually see it come to the Switch like this report potentially suggests. So make sure you do that before you leave the video today. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out on this video if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.